Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Underworld Evolution, starring Kate Beckinsale, Scott Speedman, Tony Curran, and Bill Nighy, directed by Len Wiseman. Now, I remember going to theaters for this thing, and did I like it then? Because I'm going to be honest, I remember that I didn't understand what the hell was going on. Let's get into it, shall we? We open the movie in 1202 AD with Victor, returned by Bill Nighy briefly, and Marcus, played by Tony Curran, finding the most powerful Lycan out there named William. And the fight scene was brutal, but I didn't understand what the fuck was going on in that scene, as it was a stupid opening. But do we get to know Marcus as a character, other than he's Victor's brother? Nah, not really, honestly. Then we get a recap from the last movie told by Celine, returned by Kate Beckinsale, and we see Celine and Michael, returned by Scott Speedman, going after something I didn't quite understand what they're going after. Then Craven awakens and gets killed by Marcus, and I was very confused about what's happening in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Like, I just don't know what's happening anymore. And is there some kind of comic book where it explains any of the first 10 to 15 minutes of what is happening? Because it needs to be in the movie. And that's the same problem I had with the Star Wars prequels, as it doesn't make sense unless if you read it. But I don't know a damn thing about the plot because it makes no goddamn sense. Michael goes to some bar and eats, and for some reason is having a violent reaction, and we sees a wanted on the TV, and almost kills a police officer as Celine finds him as he's wounded, and fights the police officers, and she heals him. And Marcus finds them and almost kills Celine, and Michael shoots him. And they go on the run on a truck as Michael fights Marcus, and Celine almost gets killed by the sunshine. And they go in a place where she can't die, and they have sexual intercourse, which, how inappropriate for a movie like this, but hell, this movie is confusing as general, and it is inappropriate. What the fuck am I saying? Celine and Michael break into an ally's place, until he traps her, and Michael fights a Lycan, and they both defeat some Lycans. And honestly, is there a plot to this movie? Because I don't see it as they catch up as the ally, and I don't get it. There's no fucking plot in the dialogue. It makes no sense either. And I'm almost an hour into the movie, and I don't understand anything going on in this movie. It's like baffling that I'm almost an hour in this hour and 45-minute movie, and I can't make sense of which is a shame, because I wanted this series, including the first film, which I didn't like, as you guys may recall, and I'm hoping for better in the next three movies, including I Frankenstein. But I'm not seeing entertainment that here at all. I'm seeing a bunch of nonsense, particularly since as Celine looks good in the leather outfit. But as she and Michael escape the ally's place, Marcus stabs the ally to death, and she visits a French general to talk with him. And let's just say it, this movie is garbage. Marcus catches up with Celine and Michael and takes on Michael, putting a stabbing on him quite easily, but Celine gets blood on Marcus, and Marcus flies away, and Michael briefly dies, and Marcus becomes human and wounds his father. Now I'm starting to check out of this movie, as it makes no motherfucking sense. Some men with Celine start to go to a place where they can finish Marcus off as he enters a chamber and releases William, as Celine goes after him with the men, and she catches Marcus while the men go after William, and Marcus is trapped and turns into some kind of monster, and Michael suddenly awakens, which I didn't get how, because it makes no sense. I don't know how many more times I'm going to say that, because it really doesn't at all. Celine fights William and Marcus and a bunch of Lycans until Michael comes in and they shoot them up. And this is getting ridiculously bad as Michael opens William's mouth too far to his death. And Celine gets stabbed by Marcus, and she pushes him to the helicopter death. And that was very stupid in my eyes. And Celine can face the sun without getting ashing, and this climax is so ridiculous, it's so stupid. Let's just get to the rating, shall we? Because I can't make sense of this fucker. I'll give this movie a 1.2 out of 10. I don't know how many more times I'll say it makes no sense in the future, but I said it quite a bunch here, as it really doesn't. Like, what is the plot? I don't know. What do these characters want? I don't know. Is the movie bad? Hell to the motherfucking yes. I wanted off an hour into this thing, and I recommend anyone who hasn't seen this thing to stay the fuck as far the fuck away from it. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next time I will be back with Underworld Rise of the Lycans. And until next time, it's time to shoot some Lycans.